Hi, and welcome to Isolate and Create. I'm Lorna Conkergood, and I'm a graduate research assistant with the Grenfell Art Gallery in Cornerbrick, Newfoundland. This series is produced by the Grenfell Art Gallery to reach out to our community and to inspire young artists, actually young and old artists, to continue to create in times of isolation and quarantine. So the activity we're going to do today is actually the Styrofoam printmaking activity. And yeah, let's just get started with a bit of a materials list. So the first thing you'll need is a recycled Styrofoam meat tray. Sometimes you can get them with cucumbers on them. White is best, just so you can see because you're going to be coloring on it. So white is best. A straight edge, a X-Acto knife, some paper, any paper's fine. Something that doesn't curl is best because we do get the paper wet, but any paper's fine. And water-soluble markers, just the Crayola, these are Crayola markers, like school grade. A little dish of water with a sponge. And actually a cutting mat or cutting board so that when you cut the Styrofoam in the beginning that you don't actually cut into a table or a countertop. Okay, so let's get started with the first step. So the first thing that we're going to do is actually cut the bottom out of the Styrofoam meat tray. So I did this one ahead of time, and so that'll save us time. Just like the cooking shows, it's magically already baked. And then what I'm going to get you to do is actually look at the cutting board. So over here, this cutting mat actually, I'm just going to square off my edges of my Styrofoam. So I lay it down and I press, but not super hard, maybe score it a few times. Styrofoam's actually very easy to cut, but there. So I've squared it off. And ta-da, there it is. The magic of being able to film ahead of time. So now I have, this is basically what you would consider the plate of the activity, and you're going to color on it. So come back over here and let's just look at the work surface. And so on here, I've sort of decided ahead of time what I'm going to draw and color, and using the markers, I'm going to magically color whatever. In this case, I'm actually going to do a bunny, and so I'm using these Crayola markers. The beauty of printmaking is I can color this and print it, and then I get to color and print it again, and I can color and print it again as many times as I want. So I'm putting on a border, but am I worried if it's perfect? No. Okay. So that's what I want to print. And I cut my piece of paper ahead of time, and so here it is. And what you want to do now is take your sponge, wring out the water a bit. You get your paper wet. I don't want it soaking wet, and I don't want any standing water on my page. So I'll just make sure it's all soaked up. And now what you do is take your Styrofoam plate that you colored on and flip it over. Oh, looks like I may have used a bit too much water. That's okay. Okay, so sometimes actually I slide it off the table, flip it over, and then use the heel of my hand, this is the heel, and just rub it in. really well. And let's just see if that turned out or not. Oh, it didn't. But guess what? My previous one did turn out. So let's pretend that that actually turned out like this. Maybe you're gonna have to do a few tries, who knows? These were my previous tries with various degrees of success. Some worked out really well, and some are just pretty ink blots. Okay, so now what I can do is actually dry this off a little bit and wait for the styrofoam to be completely dry, and then use my markers and recolor the bunny. And then I'm gonna re-wet another piece of paper and flip it over. One thing to note when you're printmaking is actually everything prints in reverse or in the negative. So it's the reverse of the picture of the plate on the page. So if you do include text or writing, you have to remember to write everything backwards, as well as each letter must be backwards. Okay, so if you get inspired by this, I hope you do, and you create a beautiful little print with your styrofoam, post on social media with the hashtag isolate and create, and or hashtag Grenfell Art Gallery. The other thing that I wanted to mention is if your internet connection is not great where you are, there is a printable PDF that you can use to follow along, and if you don't have the ability to download a video or whatever. So you can either find that on the Grenfell Art Gallery's website, or by emailing gallery@grenfell.mun.ca, and a PDF will be mailed out to you. Also, make sure to visit the Grenfell Art Gallery's social media pages, so Instagram, Facebook, and the new Vimeo page, because we're going to be posting regular updates to the Isolate and Create series. So thanks. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a great day.